Hello, going live tonight and starting with a look at a couple of sites. Um, let's see. Doing this real quick. I'm going to go more in depth with this with upcoming episode. Military assets Q plus are coming back. Um, let's see. Okay. I'm going to play this one real quick to get us started tonight.
It was really unexpected. I was asked to speak at Ladies for America First event at Bedminster, and of course.
Okay, they're gonna do a commercial, so we'll stop that, and we'll go back here because we've got a spot right here that you'll notice. You'll notice that on these particular videos we're starting out with, there's no information at the bottom. There's no comments. These will disappear relatively quickly. And obviously, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just a few seconds worth.
Some reason, Pelosi thinks the storm is coming. Now, he said that Pelosi thinks a storm is coming. Well, there is a storm, and it's coming. And the other thing that's very interesting is that Trump, he was speaking at a Women for Trump, and the women asked him, are you going to come back, lead back? And he said something very interesting. Take a listen. So Trump said, you're going to be very happy. He knows. He always knows. He planned this out from the very beginning. Remember,
okay, I don't doubt that at all. He planned this out from the very beginning.
This is August 2nd, 2018. 3-year Delta tomorrow. This says something.
Okay, and again, I'm going to go more in depth with all of this because the first video started to play. The lady talks about 3 things Trump said at that speech, and I wanted to just get that on real quick to show that Trump really did make that speech. And this one is big tech. And again, I'm going to play just a few moments of this, but the real thing I want to point out is the comments. This one, Trump never left office. POTUS. I want to get down here to the comments. Pray August will be the time of action. Rhetoric can only carry the people so far. We are there. Please help the people who love the flag, country, and God. They believe wholeheartedly that they love the flag, country, and God. I don't doubt that they love the flag, the country, or God. But they project that they're the only ones that do, and that's just one of the many things wrong. Let's go to the second comment. I believe and hope the first arrest will be Fauci. Obviously, someone that doesn't want to be bothered with a virus or vaccine. I've never had a warning about EBS, and I have Verizon. That's this comment right here. Okay. The emergency broadcast system, the National Emergency Broadcast System, is going to be putting out a test on Wednesday, the 11th. If you watch this program, you know about that. I was in radio for quite some time, and I worked for a fair number of years at a station that we would receive the emergency broadcast system signal and then it was our responsibility to pass it along to other stations in the area. It's routine. This is nothing new. The only new thing is it's going to be broadcast to your phones. So outside of that, the emergency broadcast system, and the guy says he had, I've never had warning about EBS, and I have Verizon. It doesn't matter what phone system you had. This is the first time it's going to be attempted to do by phone, just to see how it would work. However, some people have are trying to parlay that into something more than it actually should be. Next comment. Or the demons will put someone in temporary forever. I'm not sure what that means. The next one, they can't even period get wrinkle-free curtains that would block the parking lot. Not sure what that means. That might be code for something. I'm not sure. No more mail-in ballots. Go out and vote in person. Okay. For people that can walk and are able, yeah, if you want to, I personally believe everybody ought to have a vote, and voting ought to be as easy as possible, but that's just me. Okay. I wanted to show you this real quick. This is my channel. For those of you that think I'm somehow profiteering, that's $101.68, and that's over the last 28 days. So I'm not doing this for money, just so you're all aware of that. And okay, kind of want to start the show with this, and I'm going to move it a little bit closer. Oh, okay, you're not going to be able to read that. I'm going to have to read it for you. So I'm going to pop this up here. I'm going to be turning the light on just a second and actually starting the show. I just wanted to give you a little preview of what's to come with talking about the potential for disruption on August the 11th, this coming Wednesday, day after tomorrow. One of the things they talk about in one of the things I had up here is about the big blackout is coming. There's supposed to be 3 days of darkness, and they've got various scenarios for how that's to come about. As a space laser, the government's going to do it to us. I personally think create a problem, power outage. Blame somebody else for the problem, anybody but the people actually doing it, and then claim victimhood later down the road. So they keep saying this is going to happen, and I believe they're saying that because they're going to try to make it happen. If it happens through a cyber attack, then the possibility of it being restored within 3 days, within 72 hours is a lot better. If it is a physical attack on infrastructure, and the United States power grid is incredibly vulnerable to attacks on the infrastructure. That's just the way it's set up, unfortunately. But you take out a few transformers, you take out a few transfer stations, and pretty soon you've taken out a whole region, if not half of the country. So, and if that happens, depending on how it's done, it could be not days, but it could be years before power is restored. And I'm not saying that to freak anybody out. I'm just saying it because that's the way the infrastructure is set up. The National Research Council stated that the U.S. power grid is, quote, vulnerable to intelligent multi-site attacks by knowledgeable attackers intent on causing maximum physical damage to key components of a wide geographical scale. And also asked what happens if the U.S. power grid does go down. the power grid goes down, water and natural gas will fail soon thereafter. So planning is critical. As of 2020, the average age of the power grid is 30 years old. Power outages are over 2.5 times more likely than they were in 1984. So, hello, everybody. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. So just kind of kicking it off with some things there. Again, this isn't on the 11th of November, or I'm sorry, on the 17th, on 11/17/20, the 11th of November, or the day, gone it, the 17th of November, 2020, I was passed a leaked transcript of a meeting of the Oath Keepers with a plan for what was going to happen on January 6th. This is not that case. I'm analyzing stuff I'm finding from QAnon sites that are pointing to things. All right. My sincere hope is absolutely nothing happens on the 11th other than the emergency broadcast system goes off and it's picked up by phone. So we know if there's ever a real emergency, the system works, because that's what I believe is all it actually is. However, there are some that believe and keep pointing to it being some kind of go code. And some of the videos we've played have the green light's been given. God bless you all. Where one go, we all go, which is the QAnon motto. So a lot of things pointing to something possibly happening on the 11th. Don't get alarmed. Just be aware and be prepared. And it's hard to be prepared for what you don't know may happen, because before January 6th, I think I was the only one talking about something possibly happening. And I was looked at as a lunatic, and I was hoping to be. I said January 4th, watch for something to happen. Two Penske truckloads of white supremacists show up in Philadelphia. Was that a test to see a probe to see what they could get away with, how they would act if it comes time to actually take up arms? And all this stuff, all this stuff sounds so ludicrous. It's just absolutely bizarre to think that in the United States of America in 2021, there would even be the remotest of remote possibilities of citizens rising up against the United States government. I can't fathom how the people that follow QAnon and believe all this stuff, because they believe all of it. Once you believe some of it, you got to believe all of it, or else what you started with doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense to anybody outside of it. And I feel absolutely crazy talking about it. Just making people aware that it's out there makes me feel like, am I nuts? I'm not at all. But there are people out there that are convinced of some things that aren't true. And it's potentially very harmful. Okay. The Olympics just wrapped up, and that was one of the things. 3 days after the Olympics wrap up in Japan, that's when things are supposed to kick off, and that was that happened. The Olympics were brought to an end. The Olympics the intent of the Olympics is to bring the world together every 2 years. 2 years summer games, and then 2 years after that's the winter games. 2 years after that's the summer. This time, because of COVID and the delay, the winter games will start in 6 months in Beijing, China. And the purpose is to bring to bring the world together. And the Olympians in the Summer Games from America at a different time would have brought this country together. There would have been a lot of national pride in the efforts and the character of the Olympians. But instead, I get comments about how disgusting it is that Black Olympic athletes are wrapped in the flag, and that's for another episode. But it's where we are. It's where we are as a country. So to ignore the possibility of an uprising, even though we just read through comments, and one of the first comment was, the people are tired of the rhetoric. It's time for action. And so one of two things are going to happen. All of the Q people are going to go, this was all a big scam, it's all a big sham, and I'm not following it anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go after the people that have been telling me these things. Or they're going to rise up and try to put Donald Trump in as president of the United States, in direct violation of the Constitution, basically creating sedition and treason. Now, that's just the facts legally of how the Constitution is. All right. We always have to keep in mind that, the difference between a patriot and a traitor is whose side you're on. In the Gaza Strip off of Israel, in the Gaza Strip, someone fighting for their freedom in Gaza is a patriot. Just across the border in Israel, that very same person is a terrorist. So it's a tough situation for America to be in, and it's a tough situation to report on, because nobody else is drawing any attention to this. I thought I had it ready to go. CNN. I thought CNN was going to draw attention to this. They had a headline today. New revelations expose Trump and present danger. And I thought, okay, finally they're going to mention that, something could happen, because the Department of Homeland Security issued a warning on Friday that due to conspiracy theories, is how they put it, due to conspiracy theories, the possibility of violence is heightened, all right, including up to all 50 state capitals and Washington, D.C. Got some comments over here I noticed. Thank you all. I love you all. Thank you all for watching, and I'll get to the comments in just a minute. Actually, tomorrow night I'm going to be live at 10 o'clock also. I'm going to try to do it on my phone, so that I get the software that if people want to come on for a couple of seconds and ask a question, or come on and talk for a couple of moments, I'll have the ability to do that and do it live. So I'm going to try that on my phone tomorrow night at 10. Just throwing that out there. The idea of going without power for 72 hours, a lot of unintended consequences. A lot of people, especially if it's 90 to 100 degrees, and people don't have air conditioning, people are going to suffer, people are going to die. If they take down communications and you don't have a cell phone, well, my sister has diabetes, and all of her information comes through her cell phone. So, and the insulin pump is regulated through her cell phone. So a lot of potential unintended consequences by doing something to put Donald Trump in as president of the United States. If you really want him to be president, uh, start voter registration drives and vote in 2024. That's how it ought to be. It shouldn't be. He's a sore loser and doesn't accept that he lost. And I know some of you are going to go, "Oh, there's all voter fraud, all voter," and that's the first lie. If you believe the first lie, then you believe the others more than likely. And there's a big percentage that believe that first lie. And that's a lie in my opinion. All right. You have the right to your opinion. And this isn't a program about always agreeing with what I say. I say either my opinion, an analysis, or I'm giving a news report without opinion or analysis, just giving you facts. This is more opinion. Okay. And this is just my opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to, you don't have to share it. You don't have, I mean, that's what America is basically, having an opinion and being able to express it. It is also having the respect to understand that not everybody's opinion is going to be your own. And that's where we are in this hot August. It's too many people, not just white people, but too many people are so willing and so anxious to say what they have to say, but they don't have the courtesy to listen to what the other person has to say, or even the respect to different opinions and go different ways. Things have to fight. There has to be conflict. There has to be hostility now, and it starts when you try to have a conversation with somebody in the QAnon community, because it de-escalates into name calling within the first couple of exchanges, and that's really sad. But that's how they're programmed, and that's how they've been programmed. Do not listen to anybody but Q. Everything's fake news. Everything's false. Um, all of your friends and family, all your former friends and family, they're all wrong, and they hate you because you're right. And that's not the case. They don't hate you at all. They're concerned about you. They're worried about you, and they want you to acknowledge the fact that you're heading in a direction that is either it's all or nothing. All right, you're either going to, if they do this again, white supremacist people that call themselves patriots, and the QAnon community, if they do this, if they do somehow rise up, whether it's taking to the streets, which there have been several calls for them to take to the streets, and if that's the case, or if it's a cyber, or if it's, my hope's nothing. My hope's nothing. My hope was also nothing for the Angry Vikings squad when they showed up in Louisville. And that was far from nothing. They showed up ready. Okay. They showed up January 6th ready. Okay. Why should we automatically assume they're not going to show up again? Ready. I don't get it. I don't understand why why people aren't talking about this. Because unless you're watching this program, I don't think there's anybody else talking about this, just to make people aware it could happen. Just make people aware it could happen. Put a couple extra guards at a couple extra sheriff's deputies at the transformer in your county. Be on the lookout for people impersonating police officers, because if something goes off, that's going to get done. And so maybe I'm seeing things that aren't actually there from all the stuff being pointed to, and I sure hope so. I hope my hope and my prayer is absolutely nothing happens. I got grandkids, you know, I got people I care about all across this country. Some of them are in the chat right now. I care about all of you in the chat, but I mean, I've got longer relationships with some people than with others. It's there's too many chances of unintentional consequences. And I say I got people all across the country I care about, and I really do. And one of them, I said, I told them that, at times it feels like there's a major tidal wave coming, and what can you do about it? I feel like I'm the only one out there going, hey, potentially there's something happening. Just be aware. All right. Just be aware it could happen. If you're not prepared for something to happen by now, you always need to be prepared. You need to be prepared for a 72-hour emergency, whether it's a tornado in your area that takes down the power for a 72 hours to 1 week period, or hurricane or an earthquake or whatever it may be wherever you live. You should be prepared to maintain without power and without anything for 3 days. And that sounds like, man, that'd be easy to do. And for some it is. But for others that go to McDonald's 2 out of 3 times a day for meals, that ain't gonna be happening. And grocery stores are quickly going to get out of supply. And I'm not talking about being prepared for nuclear explosion and you're gonna stay underground for 7 years or anything like that. Myself, I look at it as a month. If I can go a month without having to go outside to the grocery store or anything like that, because you can't, then, and it may be a viral attack from another country. We're experiencing viruses right now. It may be something more, they could dump Ebola across the country. Who knows? Who is they? So be prepared. And again, I say, like, be prepared to survive for a month. Food, water, shelter, be able to make fire, have a lot of cigarette lighters, have matches, candles, flashlight batteries, because it's going to be dark at 12 hours out of the 12 hours out of the 24 hours. And again, I'm aluminum foil, just simple things. And then some different kinds of canned meats. You open a can, you eat the whole can. Try to make it last you for 2 days if you're going to have a whole month without any kind of food. Even they've even got chicken breast. All right. Now this is for emergency purposes only, and that's just a small sample. Have some soup. You can eat it cold if necessary. Of course, like instant potatoes, pasta, of course, oats. Man, you can live on oats for a long time. Of course, you got to have a lot of water, because you'll need water not only to drink. You got to have water to drink. You got to have water to cook with, water to wash your hands with, for sanitary purposes, water for your animals if you have domestic animals, and you just try to look at it as, if something does happen, it's better to hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I'm not in a position where I can prepare for the absolute worst, so I prepare for a month. If I can survive for a month. Hopefully somebody will come along and try to help. So the question about Q is who and how many? Who are they and how many? Again, look at the comments under some of those videos if you want, and I'm going to be exploring it more in depth in a recorded episode. And then again, I'm going to be live tomorrow night at 10. I'm going to try to do it from my phone so that if you are on your phone watching this right now, you'll be able to jump on with me for a few minutes if you want, because you can't do it if you're on your phone. And I was on the site I'm going to be using tomorrow night. You can't get on unless I'm on my phone for some reason. So I'm going to be on the phone tomorrow night at 10 o'clock live. And I hope you'll all join me. So let's hop into the comments for a second. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. T-Rex, what's going on? Knuckles, how you doing? Hi, Sissy. Komet, good to see everyone. Denise, American Doofus channel may be a total shutdown Wednesday is what we need to end all racism. It may be a total shutdown Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely. The channel could get shut down. I have no doubt that could happen, you know. And the reason I say that is because I was live for 12 hours on January 6th, and some people were watching with me through that time, and a whole bunch of stuff got taken down. And it wasn't just like, okay, this is going to be moved to private, and you can't display it, but you can archive it. It was erased, poof, totally gone. So yeah, me talking about, like I said, one person's patriot is another person's, one person can be a patriot to a person and be a terrorist to another person. So me saying, calling attention to all this stuff that's on here, especially the stuff that disappears, that they don't want left on here as proof, drawing attention to that and even showing some of it so it's recorded so that it's referenced. Yeah, that could, if they rise up and if Trump is appointed president by himself, because that's basically what it would be, nobody else is going to appoint him president. He's going to appoint himself president. And some of the sites are saying he's never, he's always been the president. So yeah, there are people that would want this site to disappear. Not for ending all racism. I haven't really talked about that much. The poster in the background, it's still there, but I'm not going to bang my head against the wall trying to end racism in a country where 40% of the people don't even believe racism exists or won't acknowledge racism exists. So no, it wouldn't be about racism. Listen, okay, Knuckles, from Knuckles. Listen, while you write, anything is possible. I put my faith in God and God alone. Amen to that. T-Rex, I've been watching that a lot. Okay, like Bird, but he needs to watch what he says. All I'm saying, I don't really say a whole lot. I point out what others are saying and ask questions about it, and just draw attention to it, make people aware, not telling people what to think or how to think. Mar-a-Lago is the new White House. Actually, that was mentioned. That was mentioned in one of the QAnon posts as well. If you have a grill, make sure you have LP gas or wood to build a fire. Yeah, I sincerely hope nothing happens. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I had cancer removed in 2016, and Wednesday I'm going in uh, for a biopsy because there's concern that it's returned. Um, so I don't want the power going out in the middle of something. I don't want um, them not to be able to communicate. You know, a lot of things are computerized in the medical field. So, pardon me. So, no, I don't want anything to happen at all. And I sincerely hope it doesn't. But it's it's getting to the tipping point there. If it's not Russian bots, and if it is actually the numbers of people that are viewing these, if they are actually real representation, um, there's a tremendous number of people that are at that tipping point that they're ready to just make something happen. Um, to hell with the consequences, to hell with anything else. It's just time for something to happen. And when you get that collective line of thought going amongst a vast number of people, again, how many? Okay, 74 million voted for Trump. If just 3%, okay, the group the 3%ers, because based upon only 3% of the American colonists rose up to overthrow England. There's quite a bit of questionable debate about whether that's true or not, but that's irrelevant. That's not what this is about. Let's just take 3% of 74 million. 74 million people voted for Trump. 3% of them would rise up and try to put Trump back into office against our Constitution and against the current sitting government. 2.2 million people. You take 10,000 people in the top 200 cities in the United States. How much havoc could 10,000 like-minded people, no matter who they are, whether they consider themselves patriots, whether they consider themselves black militia, whether they consider themselves gay rights activists, whatever, 10,000 like-minded people in one city can create an incredible amount of problems. And they could do that in 200 cities. Are they that organized? Do they have that level of communication? Are there plans? Some of you in the chat may know. I don't. I haven't been leaked anything like I was leaked before January 6th. And after it proved I was right on January 6th, I didn't come on here and go, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't want to be right. And I don't want to be right now. Okay. I want to go get my biopsy Wednesday and learn on Friday that it's not cancer. I want to have a regular show on Thursday because we've passed by the 11th. And I feel like this is a key because I feel like people are ready for that. And if nothing happens on the 11th, that movement's going to lose some steam and maybe a lot of steam. And that would be awesome in my opinion. So either, it's the old go poo poo or get off the potty position. It's not funny, but that's where it's at. It's and the comments underneath the videos that I've been watching, that's the overringing sentiment is, light this candle was one of them. Enough talk. It's time for action. It's about time. Blah blah. So I hope I'm wrong about all of it. I really do. once the lid comes off Pandora's box, it ain't going to be back on. These people better be sure they're ready for what they're asking for. Good point as well. Good point as well, Dr. Ray, because you're exactly right. You know, there may be people that have plans and they think, okay, this is what we are going to do. You know, there are major transformer positions because unless they've got really technical hackers, um, they're probably not going to launch a cyber attack. It's probably going to be blowing up transformers and blowing up towers to try to bring the power down. Because if you bring the electric grid down, you bring down communications, you bring down everything else, you know, and how much is controlled by computers now? If there isn't any power, there aren't going to be any computers. There will be backup generators, keep things going momentarily, and by momentarily, 3 to 5 days. But depends on how much damage is done. And this isn't just me making it up. It's, you know, you can look it up. It could take years before the power grid was ever back. So, you know, you don't want to go years without the American Doofus Show. Come on. So let's not do anything like that. I agree with that, Knuckles. A big percentage of people are like that. They like to talk, but when it actually comes time to do something, they don't. That's my hope as well. That a whole bunch of people are talking about all this stuff. They're liking it. They're commenting, but they're going to let somebody else do it, and hopefully, there's not enough people to do it. But the numbers, you know, could be if 2.2 million people did rise up, and they would take over because nobody's talking about this. Nobody's going to be prepared for it. You know, they're going to kill state troopers or whoever's guarding whatever they want to take over, or, you know, whatever building they plan to destroy. And not bat an eye about it, because they have a mission, they have a purpose, they have a cause. And if they are highly motivated, like Dr. Ray said, the lid could come off. And if it does, people are going to wish it hadn't. I'll just say that. People are going to wish it hadn't if it does. Wolverine Jones, what's up? Hope everything's good down in Louisville. Malik Ford, you will be fine. That's my hope, is I'm going to be fine. I got enough stuff to get by, and I'll just lock my doors. I've got weaponry for defense, and I got a few neighbors in the area that I communicate with, but honestly, not a lot. Not like it's been in the past because of where I relocated to. But yeah, my plan is, if it happens, I'm going to hunker down and just survive, and then come back on whenever everything's put back together and go, it's the American Doofus Show. We are back. Hope we never leave. But yeah. Glenn Smith, what's going on? Thank you for being here for a while. 5/5. 5/5. Logic tells us that, and what 5/5 says is, I think any acts of such would be put down soon enough. If the military is loyal to the Constitution and to their oath and to the United States, any action should be put down soon enough. If the police and the military are on the side of the white supremacists, the QAnon, the patriots, it could get ugly real fast. T-Rex, Barry has that baseball bat with a barbed wire wrapped around it. I did carry one of those one time when I was managing a championship wrestler. It was just the one time I was a bad guy manager for a championship wrestler. Got to cheat in in the ring and do the whole thing because my radio counterpart was a championship wrestler, and we were doing a fundraiser. Um, Hope Biden don't take your tools of defense. Uh, Biden's not going to take anything from anybody. Sissy McLeod, Biden not going to take nothing. Yeah. Um, the I agree with that, Knuckles. The Q people aren't patriots, but they consider themselves patriots, and they reference themselves as patriots in the videos, and they believe they are patriots. Okay, it's not so much whether I believe they are; they believe they are, and that motivates them. How much? Only time will tell. So I've been on here about 45 minutes, 47 minutes, it looks like. I'm going to hop off here before going too much longer. What's up, Fred? I almost missed you there. Thank you for joining. Blue, silver, red, gold. Thank you. Anybody I miss, say hi so I can say hi to you because I don't want to miss you. I hope you're right, 5/5. If you look at January the 6th, we're learning that a lot of police officers, a lot of former military took part in that. I'm hoping that's a fringe and it's not a majority. So hello, Kevin, 52002. Hello, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys, all of you. George Jetson, his boy Elroy, daughter Judy, Jane, his wife. I'm at that point where I've either got to do a big prayer, meditation, relaxation, or I got to make jokes because it's the only way to relieve stress. And like I said, I'm getting biopsied on Wednesday. So, you know, it's a dark world. Try to be a light. I love you all. Thank you all for being on here. Yeah, I do. Knuckles, absolutely I do. And you know, if it wasn't for some of the crazy outlandish stuff, and if it wasn't an attempt to put Trump back into power, if it's just conversations, I agree with a lot of the people, with a lot of the things they think are wrong with our country. On the quote unquote other side, even though I'm not on a side, I try to stay in the middle and let people from opposite sides have a platform to talk about things. I try to stay in the middle. There's some things you can't. George Floyd, I couldn't. I'm sorry, I couldn't. And the attack on the Capitol, I couldn't, because that's not how you do things in America. We're supposed to be the light of the world, not, the pathway to third world dictatorial regimes. Okay. I hope they are. I hope they are the extreme. And yeah, Kevin, run back and take a look. Actually, Kevin, just go back to the previous recorded episode. You'll get an idea of kind of what we've been talking about here. Biden, this is a whole nother episode. I wasn't a Biden supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm just not. Um, but I do support the Constitution, and I do support, you know, waiting until the next election to try to change things instead of trying to do it violently. But yeah, it's Carpe diem. Welcome. I'm just signing off, darling. Thank you for being in. I meant, no disrespect. Darling's a habit, an old habit. If he was the light, we would be nuking Israel. As far as Israel goes, there, and I get this from a pretty reliable source. Israel was trying to get the United States and the United Kingdom to go along with attacking Iran, and now it appears, this is stuff coming from kind of behind the scenes, under the surface, that Israel may be doing a unilateral attack. Israel attacking Iran by itself. So I'm really not sure, because some of these Q videos are really anti-Israel, which Republicans aren't anti-Israel. Some of these Q videos are saying it's not about Republicans and Democrats anymore. It's about Trump and everybody else. Where one go, we all go. And if you're not with us, you're against us. And if somebody tells me that they're my enemy, I generally accept that. Somebody says, "Hey, man, I'm your friend. Oh, we got this in common." I'm always like a little bit like, I wasn't really asking for friends. Is this, what's this about? But if somebody tells me I'm your enemy, I generally believe it. And I hope there's a small enough contingent of them that nothing ever happens. But I don't think this is like 30 Klans members in a garage in Georgia planning on terrorizing their county. I think this is big scale and with big potential for disaster. And hope it never happens. Hope it doesn't happen at all. So I love y'all sincerely. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging out, and we're getting ready to come up on an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and drop off. So maybe some people will watch. Get up towards an hour and people just, and I don't blame them. People got stuff going on. They don't want to sit down and invest an hour and listen to stuff. And I get that. If the threat was so high, don't you think the government would send military to guard things? Yeah, if they knew it. But again, I think the government's still focused on trying to figure out what happened on January 6th, not concerned about what could potentially be happening. Department of Homeland Security did send a warning out on Friday. But outside of that, they don't think the threat's very high. I hope they're right. And, I'm not trying to overreact. I'm just trying to make people aware that something could happen. And it's based on what I'm hearing other people saying. It's not based on me being a prophet, or, it's just based on analysis and on past actions. I would think they have people in queue. I would hope they did. I would hope they do, but you can't have people everywhere, and these videos don't stay up very long. And I imagine it's kind of like a chain, that the video comes up and one person sees it and notifies everybody on their list. They notify everybody on their list, and it goes down the line. And then after everybody's seen it, it's deleted, so it can't be used as proof against them in a court of law, as everything can be that you say. So again, until next time, I sincerely love you all. Thank you so very much. I'll be on tomorrow night live at 10. I'll probably have a recorded episode between now and then. But again, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try to do it from my phone. So if you have a phone and you're watching this on the phone, you'll be able to possibly hop on for a few moments and we'll talk about things. I haven't seen that, no. But they reference JFK Jr. a lot. He's supposed to be Trump's vice president once Trump's back in there. I love y'all. Thank you so very much. This is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Shalom, 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 salam, namaste, blessings, peace, and love. Yeah, it's a dark world. Try to be a light. Until next time.